Have you ever wondered why, despite eating well, staying active and doing everything you're supposed to, your legs still feel weaker? Maybe climbing the stairs feels like scaling a mountain, or getting up from a chair takes just a bit longer than it used to. You might be thinking it's just aging. But what if there's something else going on? Something so subtle you'd never suspect it. Imagine this. You're reaching for a fruit bowl filled with what you believe are nature's healthiest choices. You take a bite, savoring the sweetness, confident that you're nourishing your body. But what if I told you that some of those very fruits, the ones you've been eating for years, could actually be making your legs weaker, stiffer, and more prone to pain? Yes, it's true. While most fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that keep us strong and vibrant, there are a handful that, especially for those over 60, can do more harm than good. And the worst part? The damage isn't immediate. It's slow, sneaky and gradual, until one day you notice that familiar dull ache in your calves after a short walk, or a sudden stiffness in your knees after sitting for a while. Today we're diving deep into this hidden danger. The 7 common fruits that may be quietly chipping away at your leg strength without you even realizing it. We're going to uncover the surprising truth behind these seemingly innocent fruits, how they can impact your blood circulation, cause joint inflammation, and ultimately make simple movements feel like a challenge. So if you're over 60 and want to protect your legs, maintain your balance, and keep moving freely for years to come, stay with me. You might just discover that the fruits you thought were your allies might actually be working against you. Let's get started. Pineapple. The hidden acidic trap. Picture this: a sunny afternoon, and you're sitting on your porch enjoying a juicy slice of pineapple. The sweet tropical taste is refreshing, and you've always believed it's a healthy treat, a natural way to boost your well-being. After all you've heard, it's packed with bromelain, a natural anti-inflammatory enzyme. But what if that slice of pineapple is quietly working against you? Let's dig deeper. Pineapple is known for its high bromelain content, a compound celebrated for reducing inflammation. It sounds perfect for aging joints, right? But here's the twist. The same pineapple that promises to soothe your body can also become a silent saboteur, especially for those over 60. Why? Because while bromelain might sound like a miracle compound, pineapple is also loaded with strong acids and natural sugars. And as we age, our bodies don't process these the way they used to. Think of it like this. Your blood vessels become more sensitive, more delicate over time. When you consume pineapple, those natural sugars quickly spike your blood sugar levels. That sudden surge may seem harmless, but it can quietly damage the tiny blood vessels that carry blood to your legs and feet. Imagine this. You're taking a leisurely stroll around your living room, and suddenly you feel that dull, heavy ache in your calves. Or you're getting out of a chair, and your knees feel stiff, almost as if they're wrapped in a tight band. You might chalk it up to aging, but it could be that morning pineapple smoothie you had. But that's not all. Pineapple is not just sweet, it's also acidic. While a younger body might handle that, acid with easy aging joints are much more sensitive. Picture acid as a slow-burning fire. It can sneak into inflamed joints, fueling that existing pain in your knees. Hips and ankles. You might feel a tingling sensation, a heaviness, or even a persistent nagging discomfort that doesn't go away. And here's another twist: if you're taking blood thinners or certain medications, that seemingly innocent pineapple could also interfere with how your meds work. Bromelain can either amplify or weaken their effects, making it harder for your body to maintain its natural balance. So what's the takeaway here? It's not about banning pineapple forever. It's about awareness. If you're over 60 and you've been feeling unusual tightness in your legs, aching, knees, or stiffness and that wasn't there before, it might be worth taking a closer look at your diet. Pineapple, with its acids and sugars, may not be as harmless as it seems. Instead of reaching for another slice, consider swapping it out for a fruit that's kinder to your aging joints. Something lower in acid, lower in sugar, and packed with anti-inflammatory benefits. Stay with me, because up next, we're uncovering another fruit that might be sneaking its way into your diet, silently chipping away at your leg strength. Bananas. The sweet deceiver. Imagine this. It's breakfast time and you reach for a banana. It's soft, sweet, and easy to digest. You've heard that bananas are packed with potassium, great for muscle cramps and energy. You slice it up, add it to your cereal, and feel like you're making a smart, healthy choice. But what if that banana isn't as harmless as it seems, especially for those of us over 60? Here's the truth. Bananas are indeed rich in potassium, a mineral that's essential for muscle function. But there's another side to this seemingly perfect fruit, a side that could be quietly undermining your leg strength and making those everyday movements feel heavier and more difficult. Let's break it down. Bananas are also loaded with natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates. When you consume them, those sugars hit your bloodstream quickly, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. And what happens next? Your body releases insulin to bring those sugar levels back down. Now, in younger years, your body could handle these fluctuations with ease. But as we age, our metabolism slows down and our insulin response weakens. Think of it like a car engine that doesn't rev as smoothly as it used to. Each time your blood sugar spikes and then crashes, your circulation suffers, blood flow to your legs becomes less efficient, leading to that heavy, dragging feeling after a meal. Have you ever noticed that dull, achy sensation in your calves after eating? Or that tight, uncomfortable swelling in your ankles? You might have blamed it on a long walk or a restless night. But the truth is, it could be that banana you had at breakfast, slowly raising your blood sugar and then crashing it down. But that's not the only issue. Bananas can also lead to fluid retention, especially if you're dealing with heart issues or poor circulation. You see, when your body holds on to extra fluid, it can pool in your lower legs, causing that puffy, swollen feeling. Your feet might feel heavy, your calves tight, and your knees stiff. Like you're carrying extra weight with every step. And here's the sneaky part. Because bananas are so soft, sweet, and easy to eat, it's easy to overdo it. You grab one for breakfast, another as a snack, and maybe even a third in a smoothie. Before you know it, you've consumed a significant amount of sugar and carbs without even realizing it. And all that excess sugar is quietly straining your legs, making each step feel a little heavier than the last. Now, I'm not saying you should swear off bananas forever, but if you're over 60 and starting to notice increased stiffness in your knees, persistent leg pain, swelling that just won't go away, it might be worth rethinking how often you reach for this sweet yellow fruit. Instead of grabbing another banana, consider opting for a lower sugar, lower carb option like a handful of berries or a slice of avocado. You'll still get plenty of nutrients without the blood sugar spikes and fluid retention, and you might just find that your legs feel a little lighter, a little less achy, and a lot more capable of carrying you through the day. Stay with me, because up next, we're going to talk about another seemingly harmless fruit that could be doing more harm than good. The tiny but mighty grape. Let's keep going. Grapes, the tiny troublemakers. Picture this. It's a lazy afternoon, and you're sitting in your favorite chair, reaching for a bowl of grapes. They're small, juicy, and easy to pop into your mouth. You've heard they're packed with antioxidants and good for your heart. But what if those tiny, seemingly harmless grapes are quietly wreaking havoc on your legs? Let's take a closer look. Grapes are sweet, no doubt about it. But that sweetness comes from fructose, a type of sugar that, especially for those of us over 60, can be more troublesome than we realize. You see, fructose is processed differently in the body than other sugars. It goes straight to the liver where it can be converted into fat, and more alarmingly, uric acid. Now, why does that matter? Think of uric acid as a tiny invisible crystal. When your liver can't handle all the fructose, it turns that excess into uric acid, which can then build up in your bloodstream. And where does it tend to settle? Right in your joints, particularly in your toes, Ankles and knees. Have you ever felt that sharp stabbing pain in your big toe at night? Or that nagging ache in your calves when you're just trying to relax? That could be the uric acid crystals irritating your joints, a condition commonly known as gout. And yes, it can be triggered by something as simple as a handful of grapes. But that's not all. Grapes may be small, but they're also incredibly easy to overeat. You sit down with a bowl intending to have just a few, and before you know it, you've eaten 2 or 3 cups. It's like eating candy. You don't even realize how much sugar you're consuming, and with each handful that fructose adds up, sneaking into your liver, turning into uric acid, settling into your joints. The result: stiffness, swelling, and that unmistakable burning sensation in your legs that makes even the simplest movements feel like a chore. But it's not just the sugar and uric acid. Grapes are also notorious for their high water content. Now that might sound like a good thing, right? Hydration is key after all. But here's the catch. If you're already prone to fluid retention or poor circulation, those water-heavy bomb grapes can contribute to swelling in your lower legs. Imagine this. You're sitting down after a meal and you notice your ankles are puffier than usual. Your calves feel tight, almost as if they're wrapped in a heavy blanket. You might chalk it up to the weather or simply being on your feet too long. But in reality, it could be those innocent-looking grapes quietly drawing more fluid into your tissues and making your legs feel heavy and tired. So what's the takeaway here? It's not about never enjoying grapes again, but if you're over 65 and starting to notice increased stiffness, unexpected joint pain, or persistent swelling, it's time to rethink how much of these tiny fruits you're consuming. Instead of a big bowl of grapes, try reaching for a handful of anti-inflammatory berries like blueberries or blackberries. They're lower in sugar, higher in antioxidants, and less likely to cause those sharp spikes in blood sugar and uric acid. And as we continue, we're moving on to another summertime favorite that could be sneakily sabotaging your leg strength: watermelon. Stay with me, because you might be surprised at how this refreshing fruit could be quietly adding to your leg pain and stiffness. Let's keep going. Watermelon, the deceptive hydrator. Picture a hot summer day. You're sitting outside the sun, warming your face, and in your hand is a big, juicy slice of watermelon. It's sweet, refreshing, and practically dripping with water. It feels like the perfect choice to stay hydrated and cool, right? But what if that slice of watermelon is actually making your legs feel heavier, your knees stiffer, your steps a little more unsteady? Let's peel back the layers. Watermelon is known for its high water content. Over 90% of it is just pure water. It seems like the ideal snack for hydration, especially for those of us over 60. But here's the part that most people don't realize. While watermelon may seem like a light, harmless treat, it's actually loaded with natural sugars, and those sugars can pack a surprising punch. Think about this. Every time you bite into a slice of watermelon, your body is absorbing a large dose of natural sugar very quickly. And because watermelon has such a high glycemic index, that sugar hits your bloodstream fast like a rush of sweet, sugary water. Now, in younger years, your body could handle that surge in blood sugar with ease. But as we age, our metabolism slows down, and our ability to regulate insulin isn't as sharp as it once was. So what happens next? Your blood sugar spikes rapidly, and your body responds by releasing insulin to bring those levels back down. But that roller coaster effect, up, down, takes a toll on your circulation, especially in your legs. Imagine your blood vessels as tiny highways carrying nutrients and oxygen to your legs and feet. When blood sugar spikes and crashes, it's like traffic suddenly speeding up, then slamming on the brakes. That back and forth puts stress on those tiny highways, making circulation sluggish and less efficient. And when blood isn't flowing as freely as it should, you start to feel it in your legs. That dull, aching sensation after you've been sitting for a while. That heavy, dragging feeling when you get up to walk. or that persistent tightness around your ankles that just doesn't go away. But there's another twist. While watermelon might be light on calories, it's also surprisingly acidic, and for those of us with aging joints or arthritis, that acidity can act like a slow-burning fire, quietly flaming the delicate tissues in our knees, ankles, and hips. Have you ever felt that slight stinging pain in your knees after eating, or that unexpected throbbing in your calves after a meal? You might not connect it to that slice of watermelon, but the truth is that acidity can sneak up on you, causing discomfort that lingers longer than you'd expect. And then there's the water content itself. Yes, it hydrates, but for those prone to fluid retention or poor circulation, all that extra water can actually cause swelling. Think of your body like a sponge. When you eat something that's mostly water, that sponge can get oversaturated. And where does that extra fluid settle? Often it's in the lower legs, making them feel puffy heavy and more difficult to move. So what's the bottom line? Watermelon might seem like the perfect summer snack, but if you're over 60 and struggling with leg pain, swelling, or stiffness, it might be time to reconsider. Instead of reaching for that juicy slice, try a handful of low-glycemic fruits like berries or a few slices of cucumber. They're just as hydrating without the blood sugar spikes or acidic after effects. Stay with me, because next we're moving on to a fruit that's become a breakfast staple for many a fruit that's practically synonymous with health, but might be doing more harm than good for aging legs. Let's talk about oranges. Oranges. The acidic attack on joints. Imagine a crisp morning. You're sitting at the breakfast table, the sun gently filtering through the window. You reach for a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, feeling like you're doing something good for your body. It's vibrant, refreshing, and packed with vitamin C, a perfect way to start the day, might. But what if that glass of orange juice is quietly making your joints ache? Your legs feel heavy and your knees stiffer than usual. Let's take a closer look. Oranges are celebrated as a powerhouse of vitamin C known for boosting immunity and warding off colds. But there's another side to this citrus superstar, one that's not as widely discussed, but just as significant for those of us over 65. Here's the thing. Oranges are incredibly acidic. That tangy taste you love comes from citric acid. While that might be fine for younger, more resilient bodies, it can spell trouble for aging joints. Think of your joints as sensitive, delicate cushions that help absorb impact as you walk, or stand. Over time, those cushions wear down, becoming more prone to inflammation and irritation. Now, when you consume something acidic like an orange or a glass of orange juice, that acid doesn't just stay in your stomach. It circulates through your bloodstream. And if you're already dealing with joint inflammation, arthritis, or stiffness, that acid can act like a tiny spark, igniting an existing fire. Have you ever noticed that dull, throbbing ache in your knees after a glass of orange juice? Or that sudden tightness in your hips after munching on an orange slice? It might feel like a simple case of overexertion, but in reality, it could be the acid working its way into those sensitive joints, making the pain linger longer than it should. But that's not all. Oranges are also packed with natural sugars, and that sweetness can be deceiving. While you might think you're just getting a burst of vitamin C, you're also consuming a considerable amount of fructose. And as we discussed earlier, fructose can trigger blood sugar spikes, leading to inflammation that's particularly hard on the legs. Imagine your blood vessels as tiny, flexible tubes carrying blood oxygen and nutrients to your muscles and joints. When your blood sugar spikes, those tubes can constrict, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly to your legs. The result: heaviness in your calves, that nagging feeling of fatigue after walking, or that unmistakable tightness in your ankles after sitting for a while. But wait, there's more. If you're in the habit of drinking orange juice every morning, you might be unknowingly compounding the problem. Unlike eating a whole orange, where the fiber helps slow down sugar absorption, orange juice delivers a concentrated hit of sugar and acid directly into your system. There's no fiber to act as a buffer, so the sugar hits your bloodstream quickly, causing a sharp insulin spike followed by a crash. Think of it like a roller coaster for your blood sugar levels. 1 minute, you're feeling a burst of energy, and the next you're feeling sluggish, tired, and achy. And for those of us over 60, that constant up and down can be exhausting, especially for tired, overworked legs. So what's the takeaway? It's not that oranges are inherently bad. They do contain valuable nutrients. But if you're dealing with persistent leg pain, joint stiffness, or that heavy dragging feeling in your ibs, it might be time to rethink how often you're consuming them. Instead of reaching for a glass of orange juice, consider swapping it for a calming herbal tea or a handful of anti-inflammatory berries. Or if you're craving that citrus zing, try squeezing a bit of lemon into warm water. It's gentler on the joints and far less likely to trigger that acidic attack. Stay with me, because up next, we're going to talk about a fruit that many people consider a healthy, crunchy snack, but one that might be quietly making your legs feel stiffer and your mornings a little more difficult. Let's move on to green apples. Green apples. The sour surprise. Picture this. It's mid-afternoon, and you're feeling a little hungry. You reach for a green apple, feeling good about your choice. It's crisp, tart, and low in sugar. Everything you've heard makes it the healthier option. But what if that seemingly innocent apple is quietly causing your legs to feel heavier, your knees stiffer, and your muscles more fatigued? Let's take a closer look. Green apples are often touted as the better choice compared to their sweeter red counterparts. They're lower in sugar and packed with fiber, but here's the hidden catch. Their tartness comes from a compound called malic acid. And for those of us over 65, that acid can be more problematic than we realize. Imagine your joints as delicate sponges absorbing shock and cushioning your movements. As we age, those sponges become thinner, less flexible, and more prone to irritation. Now, when you bite into a green apple, that burst of sourness isn't just a taste. It's malic acid entering your system. For younger bodies, that acid is easily processed. But for aging joints, it can act like a tiny irritant, slowly wearing away at the cushiony tissues around your knees, hips, and ankles. Have you ever felt a subtle burning sensation in your knees after snacking on an apple? Or that peculiar tingling ache in your calves that just won't go away? That could be the malic acid making its way through your bloodstream, aggravating sensitive tissues, quietly intensifying existing inflammation. But that's not the only concern. While green apples are lower in sugar than other fruits, they're still packed with natural sugars that can spike blood sugar levels, especially if you're eating them on an empty stomach or as a snack between meals. Think of your bloodstream as a gentle river carrying nutrients and oxygen to every part of your body. When you eat a green apple, those sugars hit the bloodstream quickly, causing a sudden spike in blood sugar. Your body responds by releasing insulin to bring those levels back down. Now, in your younger years, that sugar-insulin dance might have been smooth and effortless, but as we age, that system slows down. Each spike and crash can feel more intense, more draining, and more disruptive to your circulation. And where do you feel it most in your legs? After eating a green apple, you might notice a heavy dragging sensation in your calves, a dull ache in your thighs, or a stiffness in your hips that makes it harder to get up from a chair. It's not immediate. It's subtle, creeping up on you over time, until one day you find yourself rubbing your knees, wondering why they're so achy. But wait, there's more. Green apples are often eaten raw, and while that crunchy texture might seem harmless, it can actually be tough on aging digestion. Malic acid can irritate the gut lining, causing mild inflammation that can radiate into the joints, making less pain feel sharper and more persistent. And then there's the timing. Many people eat apples as a quick on-the-go snack, often. It's without any accompanying protein or fat, to slow down sugar absorption. That means those sugars hit your system even faster, triggering blood sugar spikes and crashes that leave your legs feeling tired and your muscles feeling tense. So what's the bottom line? Green apples may seem like the healthier choice, But if you're over 60 and dealing with leg pain, joint stiffness, or that familiar feeling of heaviness in your calves, it might be time to rethink how often you're eating them. Instead of reaching for a green apple, consider swapping it for a lower acid fruit like a handful of blueberries or a slice of avocado. They're gentler on your digestion, less likely to spike your blood sugar, and packed with nutrients that actually support joint health. Stay with me, because next we're diving into a fruit that's rich, juicy, and beloved by many, but it might just be the sneakiest sugar bomb of them all. Let's talk about mangoes. Mango, the sweet sugar bomb. Picture this. It's a warm afternoon, and you're craving something sweet. You reach for a ripe, juicy mango, the king of fruits. It's golden fragrant and bursting with flavor. You slice it open, the sweet nectar dripping down your fingers, and take a bite. It's like eating pure sunshine. But what if that seemingly innocent mango is quietly wreaking havoc on your legs, making them feel heavier, stiffer, and more fatigued? Let's take a closer look. Mangoes are celebrated as one of the sweetest, most delicious fruits around. They're packed with vitamins, particularly vitamin A and C, and they're a summertime favorite. But there's another side to this golden fruit that most people overlook and that can spell trouble for those of us over 65. Here's the thing. Mangoes are incredibly high in natural sugars. In fact, just 1 cup of sliced mango contains nearly 23 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than some candy bars. And while natural sugars might sound harmless, they can hit your bloodstream like a tidal wave, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. Now, when we are younger, our bodies can handle these sugar spikes with relative ease. But as we age, our metabolism slows down, and our insulin response isn't as sharp as it once was. Imagine your bloodstream as a calm, flowing river. When you eat a mango, that river suddenly floods with sugar rushing through your veins, causing your body to scramble, to release insulin, to bring those levels back down. And where do you feel it most? In your legs. That sugar surge can cause a sudden rush of inflammation, particularly in areas where circulation is already compromised, like your knees, ankles, and feet. Think of it like this. You're sitting down enjoying your mango, and an hour later, you get up to walk across the room. Suddenly, your legs feel heavy, almost as if they're wrapped in thick, wet blankets. Your calves ache, your knees feel stiff, and there's a tight, uncomfortable sensation in your thighs. You might not connect it to that sweet, golden mango you just ate, but in reality, it's that sugar surge slowly working its way through your body. But that's not the only problem. Mangoes are also rich in natural acids. And for those of us with aging joints or arthritis, those acids can act like tiny sparks, igniting existing inflammation. Have you ever felt a burning sensation in your feet after a sweet treat? Or that nagging, persistent tingling in your toes that just won't go away? That could be the acidic compounds in mangoes, exacerbating inflammation, particularly in sensitive joints. And then there's the portion size. Mangoes are so irresistibly delicious that it's easy to overeat. You start with 1 slice, then another, and before you know it, you've consumed half a mango or more. That's a massive sugar load in one sitting, and it can leave your blood sugar levels on a roller coaster ride, spiking and crashing in ways that can make your legs feel weak, wobbly, and unsteady. And if you're already dealing with nerve issues or poor circulation, that sugar overload can also trigger neuropathy symptoms, tingling numbness, and that unpleasant pins and needles feeling that makes it harder to move around comfortably. So what's the takeaway? Mangoes might be delicious, but if you're over 60 and experiencing leg pain, stiffness, or that familiar feeling of heaviness in your lower body, it might be time to rethink how much of this sweet golden fruit you're consuming. Instead of reaching for another slice of mango, consider opting for a low-sugar anti-inflammatory option, like avocado. It's creamy rich and packed with healthy fats that can actually cushion your joints and reduce inflammation. Or if you're craving something sweet, a handful of fresh berries can provide natural sweetness without the sugar spike. Stay with me, because we're not done yet. You've now seen how these 7 seemingly harmless fruits can quietly chip away at your leg strength. But there's good news ahead. In the next section, we're going to talk about the fruits that can actually help heal and strengthen your legs, improve circulation, and keep you moving freely. Let's keep going. Beneficial fruit alternatives. Strengthening your legs. One bite at a time. Now that we've uncovered the 7 fruits that could be quietly draining your leg strength, you might be wondering, well, what can I eat instead? After all, fruits are nature's candy, bright, colorful, and bursting with flavor. And the last thing we want is to feel deprived or restricted. Here's the good news. Not all fruits are problematic. In fact, some fruits can actually help strengthen your legs, soothe aching joints, and keep you moving with confidence. These fruits are not only lower in sugar and add acid, but they're also packed with nutrients that support circulation, reduce inflammation, and nourish tired muscles. Let's dive in. 1. Berries. The tiny powerhouses. Think of berries as nature's little health capsules. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. They may be small, but they're mighty. Unlike the sugary fruits we've discussed, berries are low in sugar and rich in antioxidants. Why does that matter? Antioxidants are like tiny soldiers, fighting off the inflammation that makes your legs feel heavy, joints stiff. They protect your blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce that nagging, achy feeling that makes each step a little harder than it should be. Picture this. You're sitting down for an afternoon snack. Instead of reaching for a banana or a slice of watermelon, you grab a handful of blueberries. They're sweet, but not too sweet, juicy without being heavy. And as you chew, you're not just enjoying a burst of flavor, you're also giving your body a powerful dose of anti-inflammatory compounds that can help reduce swelling, alleviate pain, and keep your legs feeling lighter and stronger. 2. Cherries. The pain relievers. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with that burning, throbbing pain in your big toe or a stabbing ache in your knees, cherries might just become your new best friend. Cherries, especially tart cherries, are known for their ability to reduce uric acid levels, a major culprit in joint pain and gout flare-ups. They're like little sweet pain relievers, helping to flush out the excess uric acid that settles in your joints, making them feel stiff, swollen, and sore. Imagine this. You're winding down for the evening, and instead of reaching for a sugary dessert, you opt for a small bowl of tart cherries. They're juicy, satisfying, and as you savor each bite, you're also lowering inflammation and easing that familiar nagging pain in your knees and ankles. 3. Avocado, the joint protector. Yes, avocado is a fruit, and it's one of the best-kept secrets for leg health. Unlike the sweet, sugary fruits that can spike your blood sugar, avocado is creamy rich and packed with healthy fats. Those healthy fats act like a cushion for your joints, reducing inflammation and providing lasting energy without the sugar crash. They're also excellent for maintaining healthy blood flow, which means more oxygen and nutrients reach your legs, helping to keep them strong, steady, and ready to move. Picture this. You're making lunch, and instead of reaching for a green apple or some grapes, you slice up half an avocado. You sprinkle a little salt and pepper, maybe a squeeze of lemon, and enjoy it with a handful of nuts. It's creamy, satisfying, and as you eat, you're also nourishing your joints and keeping that uncomfortable leg heaviness at bay. 4. Papaya, the gentle healer. Papaya is one of those fruits that often flies under the radar, but it's a gem for those of us over 60. Why? Because it's packed with natural enzymes like papain that help reduce inflammation and improve digestion. Imagine your body as a house with tiny clogged pipes. Papaya acts like a gentle drain cleaner, breaking down toxins, reducing swelling, and easing that tight, uncomfortable feeling in your calves and thighs. Plus, papaya is easy on the stomach, making it a perfect choice if you're dealing with digestive issues or joint discomfort. It's sweet, soft, and refreshing, like a tropical vacation in every bite. 5. Pears, the blood sugar balancers. If you're looking for something sweet but gentle on your blood sugar, pears are a fantastic option. Unlike mangoes and bananas, pears are lower in sugar and high in fiber. That fiber acts like a sponge, slowing down the absorption of sugar and preventing those sudden spikes that can leave your legs feeling heavy and achy. Imagine this. It's mid-morning and you're feeling a bit peckish. Instead of reaching for a sugary snack, you slice up a ripe, juicy pear. It's sweet but not too sweet soft, but still crisp. And as you enjoy each bite, you're also stabilizing your blood sugar and keeping that uncomfortable leg fatigue at bay. 6. Citrus alternatives. A fresh take on oranges. If you love the zing of citrus, but want to avoid the acidic attack on your joints, consider reaching for gentler options like mandarins or a squeeze of lemon in warm water. Mandarins are less acidic than oranges and still provide that refreshing citrus burst, and a warm glass of lemon water can help flush out toxins, reduce swelling, and keep you hydrated without the sugar overload. Picture this. You're settling down with a good book, and instead of sipping on a glass of orange juice, you make yourself a cup of warm lemon water with a touch of honey. It's calming, cleansing, and as you sip, you're giving your joints a much-needed break from that acidic burn. So what's the bottom line? You don't have to give up fruits to keep your legs strong and your joints happy. You just have to make smarter choices. Fruits that are lower in sugar, higher in antioxidants, and packed with nutrients that support circulation, reduce inflammation, and protect your leg strength. Now, as we move into the final segment, we're going to wrap things up with some key takeaways, simple tips, and a gentle reminder that even small changes can make a big difference in how your legs feel every single day. Stay with me, because the best is yet to come. So there you have it. The 7 fruits that might seem harmless, but could actually be making your legs feel heavier, stiffer, and more fatigued. It's surprising, isn't it? We often think of fruits as nature's gift to our health, but as we get older, not every fruit is as friendly to our aging bodies as we once believed. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit altogether. It's all about making smarter choices. Choosing fruits that don't spike your blood sugar, that don't flood your body with acids, and that don't sneakily drain your leg strength over time. Think of it this way. Every time you reach for a fruit, you're making a decision not just for your taste buds, but for your joints, your circulation, and your overall mobility. By opting for nutrient-packed, low-sugar options like berries, cherries, and avocado, you're giving your legs the support they need to stay strong, steady, and pain-free. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making those small, intentional changes that add up over time. One less sugary fruit here, one more anti-inflammatory choice there. It all makes a difference. So as you head to the kitchen or the grocery store, ask yourself, is this fruit nourishing my body or silently weighing it down? And if you're ready to take that next step toward healthier, stronger legs, start by swapping out just one of these fruits today. Thank you for staying with me through this important conversation. If this video opened your eyes to something new or made you rethink what's on your plate, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this too. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights that can keep you moving freely, feeling strong, and living life to the fullest. Until next time, stay strong, stay mindful, and remember, your legs are carrying you through life. Take good care of them.